All right, my friends, Iceberg here with Dillon Brothers Harley-Davidson, and today I am excited to finally get to go take the FXDR out for a test ride. I've been wanting to do this, so I am pretty jazzed about it. I want to see what that 114 does on this nice lightweight frame motorcycle. I think fully wet and ready to go. This bad boy is 668 pounds. So that is definitely a nice lightweight motorcycle. We here have added on the brand new Screaming Eagle carbon fiber exhaust on here. So that lightened it up as well. So I'm not sure what the total weight is now, but I'm pretty sure it took off about 10 pounds from the standard large can that came on this motorcycle originally. I'm going to take it through some different areas. I'm going to get it out in some straight so I can feel the nice torque and responsiveness of the electronic throttle on there. And then I am going to take it through a couple areas, little neighborhood areas that have a little more twists and turns so I can kind of feel the lean radius and feel everything that it can do and how well it's balanced with the 19-inch in the front and in the rear. You do have the 240 in the rear, so it is a wider tire. So I want to see how all the new suspension with that wider tire works out. Have the preload set. I like it at a little bit stiffer, so I do have that cranked up a little bit more. And yeah, I am stoked to take this bike out, so let's quit talking about it and just go do it. Yeah, that Screaming Eagle exhaust gives it kind of a nice sound, a little bit lower rumble. Pretty impressed with that. It's not overbearingly loud, which is good. I'm sure that you could remove baffles if you would like it a little bit louder. Just to give you a quick breakthrough of what you're seeing up front here, you do have the nice little digital dash, so you have your speed, your miles, your gas, indicators, neutral. All of your switches and toggles are exactly where they have always been, so perfect within thumb's reach to get there. And yeah, we're set, so let's go hit it. This bike does lean very nice, where you're normally kind of worried that you might be scraping pegs. It has a real nice lean radius to it. Now obviously I'm in a neighborhood, so I'm not like really getting after it, but yeah, that's got a nice drop to it. Good lean radius. I gotta tell you, the response of that electronic throttle, the fuel delivery on this bike is spectacular. The shifting is nice and seamless, very, very smooth on it. And obviously the power of this 114, you really feel that up underneath this bike. It's nice. You do get a nice sense of the Harley vibration, but it's not rattling your teeth out. It overall is an incredibly smooth ride so far. I mean, I'm on a pretty basic straight line smooth road, but I can tell you that just cruising at 50 miles an hour in third gear, that this bike is very happy right now. All right, we're gonna go into this neighborhood because it has a few nice little twists and turns where I can really kind of check out and see how it handles. Obviously, you know, I'll be kind of rolling through an area where I have to mind my speed, so, but we're gonna have some fun anyways without getting pulled over, hopefully. But yeah, this bike really is very easy to handle through these curves and twists. It's really nice. I kind of wish that Omaha had a little bit more of a twisty road set up, but I can definitely tell just from, you know, I'm cutting through these at about 40-45 miles an hour, and the lean on this motorcycle is great. The seating position is a little awkward at first, but that's my opinion, and that's the opinion coming from someone who is 6'1". So I do feel maybe a little bit of that clamshell sensation where you're kind of sitting a little bit like this, but I will have to say that as far as control on the motorcycle, that has no effect. You can still really get your lean on. I like the mid to forward controls, really do help with that as well, that you can distribute your weight well going through them. So once again, let's kind of talk back about that seating position and your height. If you have ridden a V-Rod or a V-Rod muscle, this definitely has that kind of sitting stance to it. And what I like that Harley did with this FXDR is that right under here, under this plate, it is already ready for you to mount the handlebars that you would like. You can put risers in there and get the handlebars that you want for your setup. I personally, if I were to own this motorcycle, would probably do 6-inch risers and some drag bars across it, and I think that would change the complete dynamic of how you sit on this motorcycle and would be much more comfortable for someone my height. As I said, the seating position definitely reminds me of your V-Rod setup, but once again, the power delivery on this bike and the smooth, flawless throttle response on here is pretty impressive. I can definitely see, they made this bike. We'll get in here a little bit. Coming in on the corners and twists at about 50 miles an hour, just the handling is amazing. Harley really wanted to kind of go after a little bit more of that sport attitude, which they did for several years kind of with the V-Rod muscle, but they really kind of wanted to up the game with this new 114 on this motorcycle and how lightweight it is. I like the overall look. I like the style of the clip-on bars. But yes, if I were to have this motorcycle as a full-time rider, the bars would be getting switched out. I will tell you that one of the things that kind of excites me about this FXDR, besides the way that it handles and besides the way that it performs, I love the fact that there's controversy. I think controversy is good for all industries, and especially for the motorcycle industry. I know that with new model year releases, there's always lovers and haters. What I can tell you about this FXDR from my brief time on it right now is that don't judge it until you ride it, because I must admit I'm pretty blown away by the handling so far. I'm going to take it here on a little bit of a straightaway street. Of course, I got hit by the red light and I was not going to pull out in front of large and in charge FX driver there. But so far, just going through the brief little twisties that I have and being able to get on it a little bit around those, the handling on this bike is phenomenal. And I have to give it up to Harley that if you're going to build a motorcycle that maybe, is totally different looking than anything you've put out before, and you're going to go after a new audience, well then, for your older audience and for the people who, are in love with the torque and comfort, I think Harley really kind of hit it out of the park with this one, with giving everybody something. There's something new in the look and the styling, and then there's also that power and throttle response and handling that I think any Harley rider is going to love and appreciate on this motorcycle. It just holds a perfect, beautiful straight line, very low vibration. The seat is extremely comfortable for what it is. I mean, for a stock seat, I must say that this is one of the more comfortable seats I've been on in a while. And yes, that preload suspension on this bike is spectacular. I mean, this road's a little bit bumpy, and I'm sure you can hear through my microphone that my voice isn't like completely like because the suspension on these new Softails is spectacular. Let's see. Flawless shifting, and you can really get up to 60 miles an hour pretty nice and quick on this bike, and very nice and seamless. I am gonna take it up through our neighborhood ride here. There's some nice speed bumps that I want to go over that are really gonna kind of test that suspension that I was talking about on that road back there. And I want to kind of feel what the bike is like at lower speeds, kind of going through the neighborhoods. Because if this is a bike that you are interested in buying, you know, for myself, this would be an everyday commuter. I don't buy a bike to just bar hop with. I want to be able to ride it every day and be comfortable. And riding every day means you're riding through your neighborhood. You're going over speed bumps. So I want to see how well it handles in those situations with the suspension, and just a nice comfortable cruise. So that was at about 25 miles an hour. It's pretty good. Didn't buck me off the seat. Alright, I'm going to hit this speed bump at about, let's call it 35 miles an hour. Want to see how that handles. Man, I did not come off the seat at all. It was nice. It was very smooth. The bike handles. This bike's incredible. This bike is incredible. And as I said before, don't pass judgment whether you aren't a fan of the looks or not, and that's fine. Look, everybody has their own taste. I'm not saying I love every single thing about this motorcycle. I don't really particularly care for the rear end of the motorcycle. You know, I am not necessarily a huge fan of the big intake suckers sitting out there. Those are things that I would personally change, and the handlebar setup I would change. But as far as the way this motorcycle rides, I can find nothing negative to say about it. It is smooth, powerful, comfortable. Just overall, I'm pretty blown away by the FXDR. I have to be honest. It's an incredible bike, and the fact that you can really just kind of get into these little twists and turns and corners is a very, very nice touch. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this ride review of this FXDR. And from the entire Dillon Brothers Harley-Davidson family, thank you so much for checking out our videos. And always remember, friends, gear up, ride safe.